Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Tanae and I'm back with another video. So today's video is going to be a Q&A on solo travel or a solo trip. So make sure you grab your notebook, grab your phone, get your notes section ready because we about to get into it. But before we do get into it, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every single time I post a video. Now, let's get into it, okay? Let's get into it. So I have my laptop here with all my answers to the questions that I have. The questions will be down here, so if you forget what I said, what the question was, it'll be right down here. So I got you, all right? I stayed in an Airbnb because most of the pricing for the hotels in the area I was staying in was a bit out of my price range. I created a budget for this trip, so I wanted to spend a specific amount on my stay. When booking the Airbnb, I made sure that I read all the reviews. That was really important to me because honestly, if somebody had a really bad experience, they write a review. If they had an amazing experience, they write a review. So I wanted to get an outlook on what other people's experiences were when they stayed in the Airbnb, and also just to find out the safety of the Airbnb from those reviews. Additionally, the reviews also helped me to decide how the communication level was with the host. My Airbnb host communication level was amazing. When booking my Airbnb, I had issues with my Airbnb account because it was my first time using Airbnb and I didn't verify my account. So I needed to verify my account, and I communicated that to my host, and my host put the Airbnb on reserve for me for the days that I wanted. And then throughout, I was able to communicate with him if I had any questions. Before I got there, he let me know, like, listen, the code will be sent to you at this time when you get here. It started raining one time and I needed a mop. Communicated that to him. He was like, no worries, just use the towels in your room and I'll get you new towels. He was amazing. The next question is, best food did I eat in or did I eat out? I ate out the whole time I was there. I was in an area that I was familiar with, so the restaurants, I knew what I liked and I knew what I didn't like. The Airbnb did have a kitchenette and a hot plate that I could make food, but honestly, I was just like, I just want to enjoy the outside food. But it's really based on your preference. You can eat out, eat in, whatever you want to do, hire a chef, but I chose to eat out for my solo trip. The next question is, how did I pick Puerto Rico and did I do any bougie activities? So when picking where I wanted to go for my solo trip, I made sure that it was, one, a place that had a beach, two, it was tropical or the Caribbeans, and three, it had to be somewhere I already went. The most important one was a place that I already went, because being that it was my first solo trip, I wanted to make sure that I had some understanding of the place I was going to. So it was either between Puerto Rico and Mexico, child, it was out of my price range for this solo trip. Okay, so Mexico was out of the question, and then I was like, okay, Puerto Rico, I've been there before, but there's things that I haven't done in Puerto Rico that I would love to do. So that's how I picked Puerto Rico. I did not do any bougie activities. I really just wanted to go out there to be on the beach and to be by myself, and it didn't really matter what I was doing as long as I was like to myself, with myself and reflecting. This trip was more so just reflection out of New York, out of the space that I live in. No bougie activities were done on this trip. How was your first time? It was great. It was amazing. I loved it so much. I can't wait to go on another solo trip. Despite the rain, everything was great. And even with the rain, it allowed me to stay in my Airbnb and read, sit down and reflect on questions, because I did write out questions that I wanted to answer while there. Even though it rained, it worked in my favor. It definitely did work in my favor. Last but not least, this person asks, were you nervous and do you have any tips or advice for a solo trip? I was nervous. I am not going to lie to you. I was nervous. When I confirmed that trip, I was like, girl, what the hell you done did? I was like, Tanae, did you really do this? I really did it. And I was nervous because you see movies, you hear stories. So it's just like, oh my gosh, do I really want to go through this? So I was really nervous and I was leading with a lot of fear. But what really helped me was watching other people on YouTube who went on solo trips, talking to people in clubhouse rooms, connecting with people on Instagram who are solo travelers, and them helping me to like ease that fear and just giving me precaution tips and advice as well. As I stated in my vlog, I waited to tell my family closer to the date because I had booked this trip in March. And I knew if I had told them in March and I was going in June, that fear would have continued. That fear would have continued to build because they would have been like, no, Tanea, like, are you sure about this? Do you really want to go? Like, we'll go with you. And that nervousness would have just built up and I definitely probably would have canceled my trip. Now, for more solo trip advice and tips, it is definitely important to do your research. So I did my research on my Airbnbs. I did research on my location. I've been there before, so I already knew like some background on it. Talking to other people that have been on a solo trip, watching other videos. Another thing is buying a portable charger. Portable chargers are A1. Remember, you're going to be by yourself and there's not going to be times where you're next to a power outage. So your phone might like, you know, die out and you're still outside. So charge that up. Another thing is I shared my location with my mom, sister, and one of my best friends. And from the time I left my house to go to the airport until the time I got back to my house from my trip, I was sharing my location with them. And whenever I took Ubers, I made sure I shared it with my mom and my sister. Make sure you have someone super duper close to you, the closest person to you, and share your itinerary with them. So I created an itinerary to give me a layout of what I wanted to do every day. I did give myself space to make sure that if I wanted to, you know, be a little flexible, I could. However, I sent that over to my mom and my sister so they have an idea of what I'm doing every single day. And if I was doing a tour, I put that information there. And if you are traveling outside of, if you are in the United States or wherever you are, make sure you find an embassy within that country. When you are out, try your best not to give information to strangers. So that's like telling people where you're staying, telling them how long you are staying, letting them know that you are by yourself. Try your best not to let those words slip out of your mouth. Try not to give too much information. Make sure you are observing your surroundings, you're observing who's around you and stuff like that. Try to fit in. Okay, try your best to look like a local. And last but not least, if you are going on a solo trip, lead with faith and not fear. Your fear will stop you from doing a lot of things on a solo trip. I told myself every single morning, you cannot lead with fear. If you lead with fear, you're going to stay in this damn Airbnb all freaking day. So I left with faith. I left with faith and precaution. Faith and precaution. I did not go out there being naive like, oh, I'm in Puerto Rico, nothing's gonna happen to me, people are so nice over here. There's nice people in Puerto Rico, but there's not so nice people in Puerto Rico as well. Okay, there's not so nice people everywhere in this world. Just do your research, lead with faith, do your research, be precautious, and do your research. So I hope this Q&A definitely helped you to get ready for your solo trip because you deserve it. I think everybody should take at least one solo trip in their life. You're going to learn so much about yourself that you didn't know. And some of us think just because we're alone, we're lonely. That is not the case. When you fully learn how to be by yourself and to love yourself and to care for yourself, you then know how to teach other people to care for you, to love you, to respect you, to understand you, to be there for you. If you go on a solo trip or if you've been on a solo trip, please let me know down below. I would love to hear all about it. And thank you so much for watching my video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell so you can get notified every single time I post a video. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.